Hello, I'm Tara Nolan from transformationtara.com, and I'm here with this amazing, accomplished success story, Fritz Jacoby. So grateful that you could take the time to be with us today, Fritz.
Good to
Thank you.
be here.
Good. So, just to share, Fritz and I have done a little work together. We met at a speaking event. I was speaking where he is a consultant to many highly successful multimillionaire company owners and CEOs. And he has had quite a colorful, interesting, successful past. And we just did a coaching package together. So I want to learn a little, let you guys learn a little about this inspiring man, and see why a man like him would even come to me as a coach. So
Why would I do that? I don't know.
yeah. So could you just tell us a little about your situation? You're like you were in the news. You were in the news business. Maybe share about like who you are and what you've done just a little bit, and don't be humble.
Okay. So I was in the newspaper business for almost 30 years. I literally started at the bottom and worked my way to the top. I started supervising newspaper girls and boys, and it was purely a means to an end. I was getting my MBA at the time, and I was going to do this newspaper gig for a while and get my MBA and then get a real job. Well, funny thing happened along the way. I got a couple promotions by the time I got my MBA, and it was like, well, let's ride this horse and a little longer, see where it goes. And unbelievably, 10 years later, I was actually running my first newspaper up in Wausau, Wisconsin. And then went on and became publisher at Springfield, Missouri, Fort Myers, Florida, and then ended up in Rockford, Illinois. And had 20 years of running newspapers in those four cities, and just had a great time. And then retired in 2008, and that was actually a good time to retire for newspapers.
Yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect. The way you were just guided to what was always right for you, and it just kind of seems like you just followed your heart, and your path led you to where you were meant to be. Would you say that's true?
It's an interesting journey. Sometimes we get into something and we don't think it's going to be for the long term, and it worked out something that I loved doing for like 30 years, and then it was just time to say goodbye and then move on to whatever was next. And I didn't know whatever was next at the time, but a year later I got a call from a group called Vistage, which is a business peer group, and they said, "Hey, your old group that you were a member of, they're looking for a chair, and would you be interested?" And I had been a peer business peer group member for many years in many different groups, and I said, "Oh my God, in a heartbeat, that would be wonderful because it would allow me to give back to some of these members and help them through their business." And so, the interesting thing, it was my old group. I was a member of that group 25 years ago. It's in central Wisconsin. We get together once a month, and it's about 12 or 14 people. It's business women and business men, and as you said, they're in most part business owners. They own their business, and we typically have a speaker in the morning and a closed session in the afternoon. And one of my members said, "Hey, there's this Tara Nolan person, and you know, I think that you should come to speak to our group because she speaks about work-life balance, and that's one of the things that most of my members struggle with. I mean, they're highly successful businessmen and women, but oh my God, they're working 60, 70 hours a week, and it's one of the key challenges that they have. And so you came and talked to our group, and it was an interesting presentation. And you gave us an exercise to do, which was enlightening. I felt, at least, and that, we measured, where we were on our personal life, business life, physical life, spiritual life, and whatnot. And we looked at, how's the balance between all those things. And for me personally, I was actually pretty well balanced. There was one area that was a little out of alignment, and but overall, it was pretty good. And then you said those infamous words, and I'd be happy to give you a free hour consultation if you so choose. and talk more about it. And so I did. I mean, how can you say no to a free hour of consultation? And the rest is history.
The rest is history, but not for everyone watching. We embarked on a journey together and worked together about 3 or 4 months closely, and it was certainly a special time to watch you grow. And what I love about you sharing your story, there's so much I love about your story, but um, you're a high achiever, and I love working with high achievers that are driven, passionate individuals, and you're a high achiever in all aspects of life. And yeah, it's like you have a great life. You had just come back from France, I remember, and you were like learning cooking there, and you were having French cooking parties and just all this cool stuff, sharing your experiences in Europe, and telling me about your lake house and different, just different experiences that you do with your travel and in your life. But being a high achiever, you wanted everything to be, as great as it can be, like higher potential living and being your best self. And I just immediately loved that about you, that you were like, yes, I want it all.
Well, there was that one area that wasn't way out of balance, but it needed tweaking, and you said, "Well, I think I can help you. Let's see what we can do." And the bottom line is, you did, and it was amazing.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. So that was going to be my next question. I mean, I just want to say the reason I really am grateful to have you on is because I think there can be a misnomer that you have to be like at a dark, deep place in your life to go to a coach. And there has to be all these problems and like, what's wrong with him or her that she's using a coach? And that's not how it is. It's actually the high achievers and the people that, are are always wanting to live their highest potential and get even more out of this beautiful life that are like, yeah, a coach is going to take me even further. I can be successful in life, but having support is just a key element and can kind of make us look at life in a different way than we might do on our own. Would you
Well,
would you agree with that?
it's interesting that you say that, because I've known a couple people that have used life coaches, and none of them were down and out by any means. I would say that they all were, in my mind, in a good place. But they wanted something more. They wanted to go to the next step. They wanted to go to the next level, and in a couple cases, not only did they get to the next level, oh my God, they went to a place where I don't think they may have only dreamed about before, and it's just been fun to see and watch them
Yeah.
grow. And so it was like interesting to say, well, if you could do something like that for me to get this one area back into alignment, I'd be ready, willing, and able. So we did. And you did. It was we did. In fact, the crazy thing is, we did that within the first one or two meetings. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it was like a week or two. You're like, you're worth the money. I was like, that's awesome. I'm so happy. Like life was shifting and it was exciting. And then I wanted to ask, like, was there anything about the coaching that kind of surprised you or went in different directions than you would have expected?
Well, the interesting thing is, we tackled that one thing, and then you pushed, which is what you're supposed to do. you know,
A
and
little nudge out of your comfort zone, yes.
well, that's what you do.
Yeah.
And so the interesting thing, like, the technology that we use to connect is called Zoom, and I had really never used Zoom before. And we talked about my business, in that many of my clients are hours away. And so I, up until this point, I met with them face to face, individually, which meant at times traveling hours just to get to them and have that face to face meeting. Well, this technology allows me to still do that, but if I want to, and it's more convenient for them, we could do this via Zoom. And so I now am able to use this technology, and in fact, then I carry that technology to a different group that I'm a member of, and we had a Zoom meeting the other week with like 23 people on. it was
Awesome.
fantastic, and those people were like, "Oh my God, this is so cool! We should do this for
Right.
every meeting." So, there's just a new unintended consequence that gave me a new insight into new technology, and a new way to do things.
Yeah, I mean, and how does that impact you with your time and travel
Oh yeah, I mean,
and work-life balance?
it's a much more convenient way to do things. Yep.
Yeah, more time to be dedicating to all the health and wellness and your beautiful wife and family. And I was fortunate enough to meet some of those as well in our journey. And other things that kind of came up that I think it would be okay to share. I mean, I'm not going to share exactly what happened, but by the end, Fritz, you were so open and coachable and like ready to look at everything that then we got even like further, like what is on your bucket list? Like what would be amazing and dream? And I'd say, would you say that had an impact?
Oh, it did, because initially we were just, concentrating at the task at hand, and then, your challenge is, well, okay, we're look at 10 years from now or so, where would you like to be? Where do you see yourself in a perfect world? What would it look like? And it was like, okay, well, let's dream together, and we did, and so then we put some intermediate steps to reach some of those things, and it was fun.
Yeah, and I know that there was some like world travel dreams and just time with your family and how important, and I just think that is so important and life-changing to just look at that and say, yeah, what kind of life am I living and what do I really want to live? Like what would make it like over the top amazing and say, and then you got a coach saying, okay, so when are you going to do that?
Well, and that's what a coach does. It says you add the accountability that by yourself you don't have. I mean, I, as a person and as a successful person, I always challenged myself and tried to hold me to stuff. But as a coach, you go a step further, and I know when that call's coming up this week. Oh, I better make some progress on this because I'm talking to Tara, and she's going to ask me, did you do this? Did
Yeah,
you follow up on what we had talked about? So, there's a little good pressure there to get things done.
good. I'm so happy to hear that. So would you say overall your experience in coaching together was a success?
Oh yes, definitely. I'm glad I did it. And
Good.
beyond that, and I think you feel the same. It was just a pleasure to get to know you.
Thank you. I do feel the same. Um, would you recommend any advice you'd give anyone out there or recommending coaching or even something different than that? Is there anything you'd recommend to anyone watching that's interested in living their best life, career and
Well,
otherwise?
again, my experience with some close people I know, they've had very good experiences with life coaches, and I've seen them go to places I didn't think they would be able to go. And I would say that the same experience is with me. I mean, I thought I was in a pretty good place, but you were able to even move it beyond there, and to that I'm very grateful for, and thankful for what you were able to do for me. And I'd certainly recommend, if people are looking and willing to go to a higher level, consider it. I think it's worth your time and money.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for that heartfelt testimonial and you've just done so much amazing stuff in your life, not only career but taking care of your own health and just having a beautiful family and relationship. And it's been such a pleasure to get to know you and work with you. So thank you for trusting in me and letting me be a part of all that. So that's my sharing for it. And thanks for sharing your journey with people out there in the world so they know that it's like life matters. It's important. And sometimes you got to do the work to just take a minute away and look at your life and say, yes, I am ready to make this life exactly what I want it to be. So you're an inspiration for everyone. So thanks for sharing. And with that, I'll just say bye, viewers, and thanks for tuning in to me and this amazing man, Fritz.
Good to be here.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.